Hey friends, welcome back to Hot News. It's a blistering little Wednesday outside. Anyways, we're going to be talking about a few things that may have gone wrong in the, tech industry as of late. You know what won't go wrong for you? FreshBooks, my friends. Especially if you're running a business, you can use FreshBooks as the cloud-based accounting and invoicing software that will make your job so much easier. I cannot tell you how many freelancers I've talked to recently who have said, I love what I'm doing, I hate the business aspect of it. And FreshBooks is there to help you with it. You can file expense reports, you can create professional looking invoices in no time at all, and it's all online. And you can try it out for free. No credit card required for 30 days at freshbooks.com/UFD Tech. And when you enter UFD Tech in the How Did You Hear About Us section, you can get access to the best cloud-based accounting software out there to make sure that running your business isn't as hard as actually doing the work of the business. So big thanks to FreshBooks for sponsoring this. Again, check it out at freshbooks.com/UFD Tech. All of that's in the description as well as in the pinned comment. But you know what? Let's go ahead and talk about something that went down that maybe isn't the greatest. And I thought it was just because we are local South African YouTubers who don't get any recognition from NVIDIA whatsoever. The Founders Edition 2080 Ti, had to buy that one myself. The GTX 1660 Ti that I didn't have drivers for, that was sent to me by a local retailer. And I got a GTX 1650 from Pallet. Big thanks to them for sending this over to us. But I didn't have drivers again. And I thought, I go through this all the time. Well, apparently that was not the case, as we found out when the 1650 was unveiled yesterday. NVIDIA decided, hey, you know what would be great? If this crap product that we're releasing that nobody's gonna actually wanna buy, if we just don't let reviewers review it, then people will buy it. Genius! Unfortunately, they didn't count on the fact that people can get their reviews out kind of quickly. And in fact, Gamers Nexus is out with their review saying that it's not any better than a 570, so just buy a 570, especially since you can even get RX 580s on sale for $150 sometimes. Why would you buy a $150 piece of crap? Who knows? Anyways, you can check out their video right up there. But the drivers for the reviews weren't given to reviewers beforehand so that when the card was announced that it could actually be out there, which is not how NVIDIA's been doing things. Let's just be clear, NVIDIA has been making sure that reviewers have access beforehand to the drivers so that when it's launch day, people can make an informed decision. But according to NVIDIA, they were doing it for uniformity reasons so that the benchmarks were on par with what the release drivers were supposed to be, and it's not some press release driver stuff. But basically what it looks like is that they weren't confident in what the 1650 brings to the table. So as long as we don't have reviews out when people are looking to buy in the first few hours, people should be able to buy it. Well, reviews are out, it's not really something that you should consider buying, because not only is it in just raw gaming terms not as good as AMD's options that are on the market, and in fact, it's not as good as probably just buying a used 1050 Ti when it comes to value, or just stepping up to a GTX 1660 if you actually have about $150 to spend, get up to $200, and then you'll be able to play games better than what the 1650 will get you. But not only that, not only are we talking about raw gaming performance, but then there's also the fact that the GTX 1650 lacks key features that the rest of the Turing series already has. That includes ray tracing support. You cannot do ray tracing on the GTX 1650, although you can do it on the 1660. But then you also can't use the advanced NVENC encoder performance gains that Turing has, because apparently the NVENC encoder that NVIDIA put in the GTX 1650 is comparable to Volta's NVENC encoder and not Turing's. So even if you're buying this to be a streamer, you can't even utilize the function that Turing has brought to the even lower end cards of the GTX 1660. The 1650 not only isn't as good of a gaming card, it has none of the extra value that NVIDIA has been bringing to their graphics cards this generation with ray tracing and better NVENC performance to actually be able to stream more effectively. And while that doesn't affect everybody, it clearly shows that NVIDIA has done something strange with this TU117 chip on the GTX 1650 that makes it not at all worthwhile. And the fact that they hampered reviewers from getting drivers ahead of time shows that's exactly what they were trying to accomplish. They're releasing an inferior product that is not worth buying. And so as long as they can try to hold off the negative press for as long as possible, everything should be fine. That's why there were no performance leaks and only picture leaks. And as I mentioned, this is something that I've been dealing with with because I just have no local representation to talk to NVIDIA. This is not the case for major reviewers, and I think it is a problem when companies who have a history of trying to make sure that their consumers are informed about their product purchasing decisions. That's okay. That's the way it should be, where people know what they're getting. But for NVIDIA to now change the way they're doing things and then have ill-informed customers purchasing things that there is no information out on the internet for them, that's a deceitful move by them. And honestly, they probably shouldn't have even launched this product at all. At least with the RTX 2080 Ti, you could say it's overvalued. You could say it's way too expensive. You could say that RTX is just a gimmick, but at least there was the information out there for you to know that, as opposed to the GTX 1650 where you couldn't even tell what the heck you're buying when they opened up orders on online retailers. It's bogus, it's baloney, and it shouldn't be the case that South African reality has to come to all of the other reviewers. I'll tell you that much. But let's talk about another oopsie that NVIDIA has encountered, and that's Tesla, who had their World Autonomy Day where they showed off the fact that their cars can now drive themselves, and they just said, and by the way, you know, we've been using NVIDIA for the AI chips in our cars, but screw you, NVIDIA, we're gonna make our own gosh dang chips, saying that they're gonna work with Samsung on actually producing the full self-driving chips, FSDs, that's what it's called. It's gonna be on a 14 nanometer process, it's gonna have a clock speed of 2 gigahertz, and gonna pack out at 72 tops, which apparently Tesla said that the ones that they were using had 21 tops, so it's actually gonna be faster. But the story is not over, because NVIDIA retorted to Tesla being like, it wasn't 21 tops, okay? Our thing, you should compare it against the one that can do 320, because that's our full self-driving one, not the Xavier, the one that you're talking about, okay? You might be better than our Xavier, but you're not better than our AGX Pegasus, okay? That's how I imagine Jensen saying it. I don't know, probably not the best impersonation of a multi-billion-dollar company. But things are heating up, competition is coming. The things that NVIDIA is potentially betting big on, not really coming to fruition, since one of the biggest companies that's really pushing autonomous cars, at least in the public sector, is now changing their tune and devising their own chips, which kind of makes it good for the consumers in the long run, because that means that innovation and all of that good stuff will happen. The exact opposite of what led to this thing. And on top of that, Tesla announced their plans to launch a robo-taxi setup in 2020, so that there's an autonomous ride-sharing network out there where cars driving themselves pick you up, take you to your destination, and that's essentially what all cars are going to be in the future. I mean, it's just a reality. And this is actually a discussion that I've been having with my wife. She's been worried that like our son's epilepsy is going to mean that he's never going to be able to drive, and I'm just like, he's 1. When he's driving age, the cars are going to drive themselves. It's literally not a concern for him to have a seizure in a car as he grows older. This is a really cool age that we're living in, and I'm excited. And yeah, sad news about the baby, but good news about future driving cars. And then NVIDIA is also adding 7 new G-Sync compatible monitors. They did it yesterday, so if you want more G-Sync compatible FreeSync stuff, which NVIDIA's been changing their tune a lot lately. It's kind of strange. Wonder what's happening with Jensen behind the scenes. And then Intel also announced yesterday, alongside the GTX 1650 announcement, there was also the announcement of 1650 and 1660 Ti laptops. And then Intel also unveiled their 9th gen mobile processors, which for the most part is exactly the same as what it was with the 8th gen, except for they've kind of pushed some new ones into the higher region, including 8 cores and 16 thread chips, as well as chips that can reach 5 gigahertz on mobile. Pretty cool. Slight reason to upgrade, I don't know. It's like Coffee Lake to Coffee Lake refresh. You only need it if you know you need it. Don't go out and buy one just cause. But a 1660 Ti on laptop could be quite nice. And then there's reports that TSMC is going to start some wafer-on-wafer designs in 2021, also known as WOW.
Wow.
So the way that WOW works is that they stack chips on top of each other in a way that is going to allow them to get better performance per the square nanometer that they actually use, because that's how I'm going to define the terms. Anyways, it's interesting technology. Obviously, there's some just laws of physics stuff that you have to deal with, like the increased heat dissipation when you stack things on top of each other. How are you dissipating the heat from the one that's underneath or the ones that are in the middle? Things to work on, but they're going to have those worked out by hopefully 2021. And you know what should be out by 2021? probably 2020 if we really want to be honest. GTA 6, because it's appeared on the resume of a former Rockstar 3D artist who's listed it on his website saying that he worked on models and such for Grand Theft Auto 6. This is obviously a big thing that people have been waiting for, especially since GTA 5's been out since what, 2013? It's been 6 years. People want the next one, Rockstar. Just make it happen. And I don't know why I put it here and not next to the Tesla stuff, but we're not editing it out and changing the order, but the Model S and the Model X from Tesla have new range capabilities, actually being able to go further than they were before. Good job, Tesla. And then let's talk about a bit of shady Apple news. Apparently what Apple was doing was buying up some cheap patents with regards to the mobile phone technology development so that they could show that what Qualcomm was demanding in royalties would be unreasonable, because they could be like, yo, this is what we paid for this thing that's actually worthless, that we're never gonna use, and we bought simply for the sake of this argument. Look at how little it costs. Look at how much what Qualcomm wants. This is unreasonable, even though this technology is actually useful and we probably should have paid for it in the first place and we infringed on the patent. Look at that. Look at how much money they want. It's unconscionable. It's a good thing that they've already settled these arguments and that they didn't have to go to fisticuffs.
Would have liked to see that, just like a CEO brawled out.
Yep. Tim Cook versus the CEO of Qualcomm. He's not famous enough for me to know, unfortunately. Not saying he doesn't matter. I'm just saying his name's not known in the cultural milieu. Anyways, you want to know something weird? Apparently, if you order something on Amazon and you want to return it, as of July, you'll be able to return it to Kohl's stores in the US. You can return your Amazon package with no slip, nothing. You just give them the package. Why? I don't understand this at all. Why Kohl's? Why not Starbucks? At least there's one of those on every street corner. And then a bit of cool news. Apparently NASA's InSight lander, which is on Mars, may have detected a Marsquake. They have no idea what could have caused it, especially since the red planet is not known to have tectonic plates. So what's causing the quaking? Probably the fact that it's a giant egg, just like that Doctor Who episode with the moon. Gonna birth itself into a giant, beautiful dragon, space dragon, which is why Tesla's getting involved. And they call it the Crew Dragon, because they know when they get to Mars, it's a dragon underneath. That's why everybody's afraid of the red planet. And for another bit of news that's out of order, let's talk about Apple again with their failing keyboards, because apparently they, in yet another atypical move for them, are upgrading the support on them, and you will get next day replacements on your broken keyboards. They're still not fixing the underlying issue, and they're not really admitting to the fact that it's actually a big problem, but they're actually providing the support that's gonna be necessary in order to fix it. So, I mean, actions, words, we all say that one speaks louder than the other. I just wish that Tim Cook would have a megaphone. That's my dream. This one's in order though, I guess the first one was out of order, because this is another bit of Apple news, and that is a teen who was arrested for being allegedly stealing stuff from an Apple store is suing Apple for $1 billion in Dr. Evil fashion, because he said that the facial recognition that Apple uses led to his false arrest, because he wasn't the one who stole the stuff. To which Apple has responded, what? Because it's not the facial recognition that you would say have on an iPhone, it's the facial recognition of the cameras in the stores. And Apple went, we don't have that technology in our stores. Which, I mean, could either be the fact that they're denying their Orwellian existence, or the fact that they literally just have security cameras that's monitored by a security company and it's not using actual facial ID software. Anyways, $1 billion. Get wrecked, Apple. You should pay. Gotta pay, I will pay ya, no way. Now, why don't you get a job? Let's talk about 3 weird article headlines that I have for you today. Number 1, Donald Trump complained to Twitter CEO about losing followers. Apparently, Donald Trump and Jack Dorsey had a meeting yesterday in the White House talking about just social media and how it works with the public and public safety and public privacy concerns. And apparently one of the questions was, why don't I have enough followers? And apparently because Trump lost like 200,000 at one point sometime last year, and that was probably due to like some mass bot deletion. But yeah, high on president's mind how many Twitter followers he has. Second weird article headline of the day, complete madman beats Sekiro using Donkey Kong bongos, just to show how he is above everybody else in this world and deserves everybody's money. Number 3, the US Navy is working on new guidelines on how to report UFOs. You see, my friends, A lot of people say that UFOs means that it's aliens, but no, UFO means unidentified flying object. It could literally be Martians from the future coming back to let us know that we are the ones who destroyed their society, and they're just trying to let us know so that we don't do it again, because they can feel the pain of all the past deaths, and every time we kill them again, it hurts just a little bit more, and they don't want that, and they're just a very benevolent type of creature, so they're here just flying past us with people in fighter jets. And anyways, new way to report it. Good job, US Navy. Anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for Hot News today. Let me know what you thought about anything we talked about in the video description, comments, things down below. Don't forget that today's video is brought to you by FreshBooks. Go to freshbooks.com/UFD Tech and enter UFD Tech in the How Did You Hear About Us section so that you can, just make your business run like a business and not have to focus on the business part of the business, but you can focus on the production part of the business. Like with us, we make videos. I don't want to file expense reports, even though I have to buy things like this. Anyways, that's it. Hit the like button, get subscribed. I'm Brett. Love you too. Bye.